Okay, we're rocking. We're recording. Okay, so there's a lot of good things going on in this video. I want to start there. I'm going to pause. So the number one thing is it looks like your ball is going straight towards your target, right, in that push away. It looks like you're lined up and the ball just goes straight in front of you, nice and parallel to the body. That's something a lot of people have to work on for a long time. Maybe they'll push the ball to the right of their target or the left of their target, and that will cause some misalignment swing issues. But with you, that direction is perfect. It's straight in line with our target. So that's amazing. And your left arm, if you look at the top left hand video, your left arm is providing a lot of stability to the bowling ball also. So the weight of the ball isn't being all carried by just that right arm. Then when we take this third step, what I want you to see is how far to the left she goes. Right, and our hips get out of the way a little bit. Yeah, and that's because we have some late timing going on. Okay, so ideally, once this second step happens, the ball should have already started moving downward. You can see it's still moving forward, right? Quite a bit after that second step is done. And once our third step hits, right here, it would be the coolest thing in the whole world if our bowling ball was hanging out here. So that's going to be our first goal with our physical game. Okay. And so the feeling that you told me you had when maybe there's a pressure situation or just adversity has hit us where, okay, I'm not seeing the lane very clearly. I'm a little upset. The pins aren't falling the way I want them to. Oftentimes, when we have late timing, you are just like almost every other professional woman. There's not many professional women who have the opposite problem. Almost all of us have late timing. Very normal with women, so it's not a big deal. Uh, and because of that, when we really want to throw one good, because we're late, it causes tension. And that tension, when we pull down, automatically shoulders are a ball and socket joint, right? And ball and socket joints, they want to rotate. That is their desire. They have to do that. So now when we provide tension to that system, it wants to do it too soon. So when you feel like, oh, I always come over the top of the ball, that's because your shoulder is rotating. It's rotating because you're late. So as much as you want to sit here and be like, I have to stay behind the ball, I have to, keep my hand on the inside, I have to do all those things, I have to keep my elbow in, right? People say all those things. It has nothing to do with what's going on because more than likely what's happening is when you really want to throw one good, you're probably even later than this. Right now we are how many frames? One, two, three, four, five, six, seven. We're about 7 frames late, right? So in an ideal world, that's where the ball would be. Do I think we'll get there today? No, I don't think we will. This is a hard habit to break. Mostly because how long have you thrown 15 pounds, do you think? 4 or 5 years, right? So since you were young, you've thrown 15 pounds. So the ball was more than likely just a little bit too heavy for you when you were little. And so you had to be late to generate ball speed, right? And if not, you throw it like 6 miles an hour and you'd be like, well, what am I doing? I can't bowl well. And you seem competitive, right? So you would be frustrated that your results weren't good. So more than likely, that's where it comes from. Like I said, super typical with women. It's not a big deal. And for how old you are, this system, there's nothing wrong with it. It just has to be refined and improved based on what you told me your goals were. So that is number one goal is we're going to get this ball to be into this space sooner. Okay. So now at the top of our fourth step, this is another fun indicator is right now the ball should stop going up. I want this little guy to go away. There we go. Okay, so if we take this line, we're going to see if I can draw super well. Come on. Yeah. Okay, so that's the top of the ball, right? We agree on that? Cool. So if I go forward a little bit, the ball should not go above that line. Hey, she's getting up there, isn't she? Right, so she is all the way up here. So she moves up that much, which I will say, here's some really good things about that for you. One, your shoulder doesn't look like it it doesn't look like you have to rotate it to get the ball that high. So the ball wants to naturally be that height for you, right? Another person who's like that is Verity Crawley. Kelly Kulick is like that. They typically have some higher swings and their shoulders don't rotate to get there. So that's an awesome place because you can generate quite a bit of ball speed. And we love that, right? Your specto numbers, your ball speed was good. It was between like 17 and 18 miles per hour, which is perfect for your rev rate. So we like that this is happening. We just want it to happen sooner. Okay. And that all goes back to, if we back up, this little push away situation that's happening, right? Where the ball is just late. So we'll play around with that. Okay. So now we're at the top of the swing. Whoop. We agree that's the top, right? Because then it starts to go down. Awesome. The next thing I look at is where is the orb in relation to our head, right? She's hanging out in the middle of our body, right? Okay, so we got two options right now from here. Option number one, run into ourselves. Absolutely crush the back of our leg with our bowling ball. Your body doesn't like that idea, right? It hates that idea because it likes to survive. That's the body's only goal is survive. And a 15-pound object moving around is running into us is not going to help us do great, right? So you do this super athletic thing where you drop that shoulder. That's not a bad thing, right? And you rotate so the ball gets out from behind you. But that causes our hand to have to rotate. Now it's on the side of the ball. We don't really love that, right? Our shoulder rotates. You can see because there's a nice little gap in between your arm and your body. And then we have to start to get around it, but we lose a lot of power, right? We have to decel. So in my most perfect world, perfect world, when you leave here today, I'm going to clear all these other ones. When you leave here today, the goal would be, is that in the middle of your head? I'm not an artsy girly. I wish we had a program that wasn't so artsy. Right? Every amazing player in the world has one thing in common, and it's that the middle of the ball is on the middle of this line. Right? So that's the goal today. The way we're going to do that is we're going to create a little bit more angle here. Right? We don't have a ton going on. We're going to create a little bit more angle there just to create space for the ball. Because right now we don't have a lot of space going on. And we do that because if you look at the top, this one, we slide to the right. Yeah, a lot, right? That goes back to targeting. Because your brain knows, because you've been bowling for long enough, that if I slide from right here in this awesome spot, if I slide straight forward from right here, that's not even the middle, is it? Beep. We're just going to clear and try again. Let me. Yeah, yeah. Cool. So if I slide straight forward from here, which I don't, right? I slide quite a bit further to the right than that. If I slide straight forward from here, I'm going to miss my target. That's what your brain knows. It says, I'm going to miss to the right. So your body says, I don't like to do that. I like winning. I like good results. So I'm going to slide to the right. I'm going to help you. It thinks it's helping you. It's really not helping you at all because we have to rotate it. That shoulder has to come forward and we have no option but to get around the ball a little bit too much and to lose our power. So this will get resolved with targeting help, okay, which we're going to talk about this afternoon. I'm going to make sure that's just everything that I see. Yeah, everything else is pretty awesome. Yeah, pretty good. There's a lot of good stuff going on here. I hope you know that. Sometimes when we come and we train places, it can be overwhelming, right? Bowling's got a little bit of perfectionism that runs deep in it. So we come here and we get criticized a lot, right? It's like, oh, here's all the things that could be better. And you go home and you're like, what am I even supposed to do from here, right? I have this laundry list of things that could get better, right? It feels like we probably just went over 104 things, right? But I watch like this knee bend that you got going on up here, this like powerful, powerful stance. That's athletic and that's really good, right? You can't teach that. That's talent. That's incredible. So I want you to remember that there's a lot of good stuff going on here, and these other things are only going to improve you, right? All I'm saying is your ceiling is high. You haven't even gotten close to it yet. Cool. Okay, so the first thing we're going to start with, I'm going to make sure that I still record this part so you know.
Would it be because I stand in the middle of the dots where my place is where my timing is
No, no, it wouldn't have to do with that at all because when we change ball speeds, we're going to change where we start on the approach,
wrong?
right? So, what we're going to do is we're going to start with just a couple of drills. I'm not usually a big drill person. I don't like them. I just want to bowl. So
Okay.
when I tell you that these are important, know it's coming from a person who doesn't like them. Okay. um, but what we're going to do is we're going to start with a couple foul line drills with a very lightweight ball. So you can feel what it feels like to keep this arm underneath us. Um, and then we'll do the same drill with our hand in our actual bowling ball and feel what that feels like. At your just normal center, you'll be able to just go get a house ball and do the first drill with so we can feel what it feels like to unload our wrist correctly and not use our thumb and not rotate the shoulder. You'll be able to use a house ball to do that. You can do it at home. It's awesome. Um, and the second one we'll do is a normal foul line drill with our bowling ball. And then what we will do is I want you to feel what it's like for the ball to get to the top of the swing and then we start sliding. Where right now, right, we're sliding and the ball is still not quite ready to come down yet.
So kind of just like a one step.
Yeah, we call it a swing in slide up in here. So we'll do some swing in slides. And then after that, we'll switch gears and we'll go and we'll do some drills with it's like a rubber bowling ball. It's really light. It's like 4 or 5 pounds or something like that. And we're just going to practice the first two steps and what they feel like.
Okay.
And that drill, I would recommend just doing at home. Like when you're walking around and you're going to go get something from the fridge, take 2 steps and feel it. Take 2 steps and feel it. Because a lot of this can happen outside of the bowling center. It doesn't have to be on the lanes. Okay?
Okay.
Does that sound like an okay plan for this morning? All right, cool. Don't hit this card. We'd have to do it all over again.